Alright, what's up guys? This is the Timecapsule podcast. My name is BXC23.
I'm John. What's up?
And then we got a special guest with us. This is my buddy Samir.
What's up?
What's up, man?
This is Maisie.
And then, this is Maisie.
What's up?
Yeah, so...
You shake?
Basically, for this episode, I got Samir with us, and he's a good friend of mine, and basically what's been going on lately, we've been talking about like Donald Trump and political issues and stuff like that, along with the Muslim ban. In previous episodes, we had that Democrat and Republican podcast,
which was hilarious. Go back and watch that if you haven't seen that.
You guys definitely need to watch that. It was a 2-part series, but basically I wanted to get a perspective from a person of that culture, maybe not Muslim, but just in those countries that are banned. Basically that's...
Is Lebanon
I don't think
countries?
Lebanon
I thought it
is banned.
Scratch that, but he is Arabic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Middle Eastern people gotta stick together.
Yeah, basically. So, what are the countries that are banned? Do you know?
I don't know. We can pull them up right now, though.
Can you look it up? Well,
pretty much anything that doesn't supply oil to the U.S.
Yes.
Because it's all about oil.
Yeah. I can tell you Saudi Arabia is not on that list.
Probably because they supply oil.
Exactly.
And is that a Muslim?
Oh yeah, for sure.
See, I don't know anything about that.
See,
so that's
Saudi Arabia is not even just Muslim. They're like hardcore Muslim. Like they just recently in the last month allowed women to finally be able to drive.
Like the jihad?
No, not like that. It's just they're
really religious.
Iran,
yes, very religious.
Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really thought Lebanon was part of that, but I guess not.
Damn.
That's why you can't listen to me when I talk about politics.
700 travelers from those countries have been detained.
Yeah. So basically the most hated East African countries and Middle Eastern countries. Which is a very biased.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna ban them all. You know what I'm saying?
I mean that's the fair route to go about it, but the U.S. is definitely not going to do that. They're going to do what's beneficial for them, I think, personally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I got other people to talk about that, because I don't know. Obviously, I don't know that much information on that subject. But basically, at the beginning of the podcast, as you guys probably all know, if you don't, we do a top 5 segments. And if you can't name your top 5, just do whatever, top 3 or top 2. So since we were talking about like just politicians and stuff like that, I would just ask, what is your top like people that you look up to, mentors and stuff like that?
And you talk about just in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
It can be athlete, it can be anybody.
Oh, for sure. So, if you know me, you're already gonna know this. Number 1, it's gotta be my man Ray Lewis.
Yep.
You know, just the work ethic, the drive, the motivation.
Yeah. And he's turned his life around too from when that incident happened.
Yeah. Hey, not guilty though.
Not guilty, yeah.
Not guilty.
Not
He went to court. Where's the suit?
Yeah.
The bloody suit.
Yeah. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
But yeah, I mean, I've moved to America, started watching football. I didn't know really cities, teams, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of caught on with the Ravens, really fell in love with just Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and just their leadership.
What attracted you to football initially?
I don't know. My first memory of football, American football, is Oak Heights Elementary. It's recess, and some people asked me to play, and I had no idea what I was doing. And that's really my introduction to American football. So from there, playing it at recess, and then having a homie say, "Oh, let's watch some football." You know, watching it, having no idea what's going on, but just.
It's interesting that you picked a defensive player as. Just because most people would pick the offensive player for the most part.
Yeah.
It's just kind of interesting you picked the defensive player. And another question about the football. Were the Ravens good at that time? Were they like America's team or anything like that?
No, of course not.
No.
They're never America's team.
But I mean a popular team.
Well, they had won the Super Bowl the year before I moved here.
99 they won the Super Bowl?
2000.
2000
So
against the Giants,
It would
right?
have correct. It would have been February 2000. I moved to America that fall.
So they were on
So-
TV a lot, so you could see them. Because like sometimes, like especially around here in Seattle, they don't necessarily play
No,
people
not
that
really.
are.
But
or
they were a
teams
good
from the
team at that
East.
time.
Yeah,
Can I
that's
say
what I'm
something
saying.
about that game actually real quick? You probably already know this, but before that game, actually a reporter asked Ray Lewis, how many points does your team have to score in order to win the game? And he goes, 3. And what's funny is that the only way that the Giants scored in that game was actually a defensive touchdown. So he was right. The Giants got shut out on offense that game.
Big facts.
Crazy.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
He
that's
said my
crazy.
team needs to score 3 points to win the Super Bowl.
So what
He
was
right.
that?
Hey, Trent Dilfer is the quarterback. I mean,
I remember Trent Dilfer. So what was the end of it? Was it
10-7, I believe.
10-7.
Am I right? 13-7 maybe?
no, it was like 35-7.
Oh, they got killed.
They
I
got-
thought it was really low scoring.
No,
My bad,
hold
yeah.
up. I'm gonna have to get checked on my
Hey,
fans.
Let's get the fact checks. Yeah, I thought it was super low scoring.
No,
they must have
no,
had defensive touchdowns then. That makes a lot of sense. Did they have Ed Reed at that time?
No,
he
no.
was a little bit later.
He got-
'Cause he came out of Miami the same year as Portis and everybody.
correct.
right?
Yeah. So he
that was
he
like
got
02.
drafted like a year or 2 after.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis
after
is
the
from
Super Bowl.
what college?
Ray Lewis is Miami
yeah.
too.
So you-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Miami's finally starting to come back around.
With Ricky Williams, is that the same?
Ricky Williams was a couple years before, I believe.
Before?
Yeah, Ricky Williams was before like the whole like Willis McGahee, Clinton Portis kind of thing. Is that right, Sam?
It was 34-7.
34-7.
Yeah.
So
But
one
yeah,
touchdown.
am I right? Ricky Williams was like late 90s, mid 90s.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because like Willis McGahee was 01 when they played Ohio State in the national title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Willis McGahee's raw, man.
he was. He was
Yeah.
good even later in his career.
Yeah.
He had 2
He was
ACL
solid.
tears in his career. One in the college that everybody knows about.
Oh, when his knee snapped like.
Yeah, backwards. And then he
Oh.
had another one in the NFL. And he, even late in his career, I remember, was really good.
At that time, just Miami was dominant
They
too.
were dominant.
Yeah.
The Rock went to Miami, right?
I know, yeah, he did.
He
was a
played.
D-lineman.
He played with Ray Lewis.
And he was good.
Yeah. He played with
so-
Ray Lewis and Warren Sapp, I think.
Yeah. Man.
That's wild.
That's
And
so
Warren
wild.
Sapp.
I'm pretty sure. No, that's no.
And then he had like a leg injury and then went to the WWE. Now he's in the Fast and Furious.
Now he's putting out movies
Yeah.
like they're records, bro.
Dude,
I know, he is.
He's
I
the
think
top
he's the
paid
top
actor.
hit. Yeah, he's
Yep.
the top hit actor in all Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
All right, so that's number one.
That's one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a long one.
Yeah.
A great segue into my next person, which is actually The Rock.
Yes.
As
Can't-
you
can't
guys
hate on him.
were in my room, you saw, man. I have that action figure
Action figure.
since I was 11 years old. We're not gonna get into the backstory of how I got that, but you guys know.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Rock, man, like, come on. If you watched SmackDown,
I did.
you
Of
know.
course. Oh yeah.
If you hear that theme song and you see him come out, you're getting goosebumps. And then just the energy level, the performances, the
Dude,
acting,
the
the-
people-
the charisma. The charisma.
The
He's the most
charisma.
charismatic
Yes.
WWE superstar I think ever.
Yeah.
yeah.
And when he went in WWE, when he was like playing the guitar and like singing.
The Rock shows.
it
I remember
was
that.
so funny.
Yeah, he sung that to Sacramento.
Yeah.
I remember that show. Yeah, great
so
episodes.
funny. But I can attest like for The Rock because everything that he does great at, and he can switch into basically like any role,
Yeah.
you know. And that's just, and he preaches like all you need is like work ethic,
Uh-huh.
and just determination and belief in yourself.
Yeah.
A nice
facts.
moral beacon too. Like I don't think I've ever heard of The Rock doing anything like
never in trouble,
morally
man.
questionable.
He's
Yeah.
a solid guy.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
something good.
As far as influences, I mean, really early on in my life, it was more for the entertainment. I just loved
Yeah.
the character and all that. But as I got older and like, you know, following him on Instagram and stuff,
Yeah.
I appreciate him a lot more because
He's a very humble guy, dude.
he's very humble. He's spreads like positivity, love,
Mhm.
and he spreads that be the hardest worker in the room.
I
Yeah.
love that
We love
weightlifting
that
thing he
shit.
has at his house. That
Yeah.
thing's incredible.
Yeah.
He's young.
Oh, he's a monster. And he's what, like 45 or something?
Is he?
He literally eats like every hour.
Yeah.
If you like watch him, he's always eating these big meals.
Yeah, yeah.
I try to as well, but not big meals. I just eat wheat thins.
We think
Shit like that every hour.
protein.
Gotta eat some. I've actually been doing intermittent
chips.
fasting. I know it's off topic, but that's
that?
been amazing.
What's intermittent fasting?
Fasting 16 hours
Uh-huh.
and then having an 8-hour window to eat.
Oh,
So I've actually like leaned out.
Yeah, my brother's done something like that.
Yeah.
Like he eats one meal at night, or one meal in the morning, and then one meal at night,
Yeah.
and then just eat whatever he wants between that one meal in the morning and one meal at night. But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
crazy, so.
All right, what's number 3?
Number 3, from a musical production standpoint, it's got to go to my man Pharrell.
Pharrell Williams.
Let's go, Star Trek,
Star
NERD.
NERD.
Essentially, the story behind that is I moved to America, back in like 2000. Yeah, 2000. I don't know when Rockstar came out. Probably like 2000, 2001, something like that.
Yeah, and definitely like 7th or 8th grade, I think.
Yeah. That song was fire, and it was different. Like
It was really different.
he's always been, from a production standpoint, be ahead of his time. Like the sounds he puts out are like weird, and for popular music, I guess crowds.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Follow trends.
follow trends, so he doesn't catch on as quickly. Obviously, as he became more popular, and he kind of like separated from the whole NERD thing and started doing his own thing, and then all the records he's produced for other artists, and like look what he's done for the clips.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
So-
definitely blew him up.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
also-
they're talented, but he produced a lot of tracks for him too.
Like grinding.
Yeah, that's grinding, bro.
Grinding.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, Now Hot No Fury has a lot of his beats
Yeah,
on it, doesn't it?
yeah.
Also, another thing I would like to say about Pharrell, because like there's a lot of producers that do samples, and he is one producer that does not strictly just do samples. A lot of his beats are made through him humming, because he would like think of a beat and just like hum the beat and then play it on the keyboard or whatever. But
Yeah.
a lot of his beats aren't sample made, and they're original, just melodies from his head.
I feel
Yeah.
like
Which
it's
is
a
harder
very
to do.
distinctive style too. Like I feel like even if you don't know something's a Pharrell beat, I feel like you can almost kind of tell with just a little push, like this sounds like a Pharrell
There-
beat kind of.
There is a certain sound
He has
to
a certain
Pharrell.
sound. I don't want to say it's
He
like
has a tag. He has a producer tag. It's the 4 count before the beat drops.
really.
So like
I don't know what that is. What's a producer tag?
Metro Boomin on that.
Okay, yeah,
You know what I mean?
that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that
If
can-
young Metro don't trust you, I'ma shoot you. Like that's the tag. But Pharrell, he doesn't have like anyone saying anything.
Yeah.
It's like, "Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun," and then then the beat drops. It's
Yeah.
it's like a 4 count.
Jazzy Fizzle production.
That actually makes sense now that I think of a couple of his beats.
Yeah, that's how producers like get their name out. And
Yeah. I mean,
Murder on the Beat.
yeah, Murder Beats is killing it right now.
And he's super
I saw
young,
him
too.
at Faded. He was pretty
Yeah.
good. And all he had to do was hit play on some preset.
DJ Khaled. I don't even know what DJ Khaled does. He just brings people together.
He has a couple of those.
he, just,
Couple of producer tags.
he just brings people together.
He does.
All right, so number 4. If you have a number 4.
Number 4, it's not anyone, famous or anything. It's definitely like my father.
Hey, that's what I said.
Yeah. Just from the simple fact, like him and my mother literally dropped everything and
From the
moved
ghetto.
here. Yeah. Just moved here.
Third world ghetto, and that's
Yeah.
harder than the ghetto.
I mean, we didn't live in no ghetto in Lebanon, but
Oh, you did?
it was...
Was it? I thought it was during wartime. Or-
No. So the civil war in Lebanon ended in 91.
Oh, okay.
So-
It'd been like.
I guess I was born
Yeah.
during it, but even then, I mean, it was
You
just
can't remember,
short-lived.
yeah.
I'm
Gotcha.
not going to remember that. But sending us to school in Lebanon was really expensive. I mean, going to the school we went to was like $10,000 a year per kid.
Is
My
that
parents had
American
3 kids. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's for a good education. The education at a private school in Lebanon is better than education public school here. You have to learn Arabic,
Yeah.
you have to learn French, and you have to learn English.
Oh,
You know French?
I know.
But you had to learn all
Je
three.
m'appelle Samir.
Why is it that you have to learn French at public school?
So there was French influence in Lebanese history. So at some point, France did
Maybe
have some kind of, I wouldn't say
or-
colonized Lebanon, but
Yeah.
they helped draw the borders for Lebanon. They helped put
Really?
the Christian community in Lebanon,
Really?
the Christian Middle Eastern community. Because at one point, Lebanon was part of Syria. This is going way back.
Yeah.
I started reading this book on Lebanese history, bro. It is so boring. I just could not get through it. It's like all these religious groups. It's like the Maronites this and this other. It's like 10-syllable words and shit. It's like it's just it's overwhelming. It's not straightforward. It's hard to follow. But that's kind of the gist I was getting from it when I was reading through. So yeah, there is French influence in Lebanon. Like I mentioned, it's the second most spoken language in Lebanon.
Wow, never knew that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because you go to Lebanon and it's almost like at this point, it's an interesting country because you'll go there and it's like people will speak French instead of Arabic because. Lebanon, like going through the war and like its image, like being a Middle Eastern country in like the Western world, and Lebanon is very Westernized now.
Yeah.
Like very Westernized. It's like people don't want to be Arab or Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't like calling Lebanese people Arabs.
Yeah.
Because my mom and dad tell me we're not Arabs. We're Phoenicians.
Phoenicians?
Yes.
What's a Phoenician? Do you know?
That's like going back to like the Roman Empire days type of thing, or even before that. Phoenicians are like the first people to travel by sea or do trade by sea or something like that. Something crazy. I don't know.
I don't really like being called Asian because I'm Cambodian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and when people think of Asian, they think of like
Korean, Chinese, Japanese.
Like lighter Asian.
Yeah.
So.
You're more grouped with like Southeast, so like.
Well, island too. Cambodia is that an island? My bad.
No,
it's not.
It borders like Laos and Thailand. Is it bordered Thailand?
Okay, yeah.
Vietnamese.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
So I put you in that group.
Yeah, definitely. But people just say Asian in general.
Yeah.
But I don't consider really myself Asian. And Asian's so big too, so it's like it's just people that are uneducated.
Yeah.
So.
The funny thing is,
like
just,
me.
I don't take offense. I don't take offense to it. It's just,
yeah. The funny thing about that is, if you go back to like when the U.S. Census was first created, it was either you were black or white. Those were the only two options. So that's how they measured other. Like it doesn't matter where you were from. You could be like the only Cambodian person. Like you just randomly showed up in America, like on a boat. I don't know, way back in the day, and it's like, okay, so what are you? White or black? All right, black.
Wow.
I'm dark. Shit. Yeah.
That's funny. All right, so
that's 4.
Four is your pops.
We have
5.
Yeah, you can do 5.
Yeah.
If you want.
I'll just stop at 4.
All right.
I can't.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, so let's basically just get into it and talk about Donald Trump's policies and like the Muslim ban and how you feel about Donald Trump, and if it's affecting you. It might not even be affecting you from where you're from or whatever, but how do you feel? How does your family feel about it too? Just because are they worried at all that like, or anybody you know worried that like their citizenship might get taken from them or anything like that? Or do they know anybody?
No. So I think, and I'm not gonna start like from the beginning. Let me just pick it up from there.
Okay.
Is at this like the only thing I see affecting me right now, or at a personal level, is like, you know, my sister's an American citizen. She went back to Lebanon in 2008, and she got married. She has a kid.
Yeah.
Right. So the process just to bring her husband here, even just to like visit, you know, to get him a visa.
Yeah.
You know, it's been almost impossible. Like they just had to scrap it after
years.
I'm gonna guess 3 years.
Wow. They couldn't even get him.
Like just to
visit.
Yeah, and he's married to a U.S. But that's the thing. Like that is kind of like Donald Trump's immigration policy. Is like all this chain immigration. It's like, why should an American citizen go back to their country and then bring their whole extended family back?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot harder.
Yeah, but this is before Trump. This is during Obama. It's just, I think after 2001, and thank the Lord, I moved here before 9/11.
Yeah.
You know, I moved here like a year and 3 months before, or basically essentially a year before 9/11. It's like when that shit happened on TV, I was shook. Like, what the fuck? Like this.
Yeah.
It's okay to swear on this.
Yeah,
of course, we swear all the time.
Yeah. So I feel lucky in a sense.
That is like a good thing or just that you were talking about. So when a 9/11 happened,
Yeah.
just from your standpoint, like what were you thinking? Were you like, oh fuck, like everyone's gonna judge this now?
Of course, bro.
Yeah.
Of course. It's like it happened. It's tied to Middle Eastern people, and before 9/11, it's like
Because people don't even know the difference between. So the people that attacked them were of what descent? Or what descent do they
I think
think?
multiple descents.
my views on 9/11, which is for another time. Let me just put it this way: what they found found passports in perfect conditions,
Yeah, yeah.
right, in the rubble, and somehow linked those to whoever was still on the plane,
Yeah.
which in itself is
But
insane to me.
But I'm just saying what the most general people think out there.
Yeah.
So
They were saying it was Lebanese people. They were saying
Lebanese.
there was Lebanese people involved. It was
I thought it was like Afghanistan and
Well,
like Iraqi.
It was from like a terrorist group, Al Qaeda
Yeah.
allegedly, and so therefore it would have been from all different countries.
Oh, it's not just one.
This
Okay.
terrorist
It wasn't
group would
just
have
one.
recruited
I thought it
people
was just
from.
one.
No, it wasn't a country. It was a terrorist group. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought it was. I know it was a terrorist group, but I thought it was like one particular,
definitely
like
not just one
Palestine
country.
or Afghanistan or whatever.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Yeah. So where were we on that?
So how did you feel like when that happened? Where you were gonna be?
I felt outcast.
Judged or outcast.
Yeah, I felt outcasted. I mean, I guess
What grade were you in when that happened? 7th grade.
2001, September 2001.
It was
No, I was in
Or sixth.
fifth,
It was in 6th grade.
sixth grade.
Yeah.
Sixth grade. Yeah. So I was still at Oak Heights Elementary School at that time. Yeah.
And then in 7th grade you went to Gateway.
No, 7th grade I went to Alderwood Middle School, and then I transferred to Gateway.
Oh, during mid.
Yeah.
I got you. So yeah, just speak to.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have really like too vivid of memories, but I remember being called a terrorist and all that. You know, the stereotypical bullshit that would be associated with an event like that. Yeah, I mean, even to this day, I feel blessed that I live in a state like Washington. I feel like if you live on a coastal, like a state on either coast, East Coast or West Coast, it's a lot more diverse. There's a lot more. It is what America should be. It's the melting pot of diversity, you know.
Yeah.
So the coast are like that, you know. You'll find all types of ethnicities and religions, and for the most part, they're accepted. So in a sense, I'm just happy I don't live in like
Kansas,
North Dakota, you know,
Texas,
or Texas,
Yeah.
like Texas. Wow, yeah. I've been to Austin. Austin is dope. Austin is basically Seattle.
Yeah,
It's a little blue dot in a huge red state.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope. But outside of that, I don't really feel comfortable. I wouldn't voluntarily, if I had to do it for work or something, I'd go. But I'm not trying to go to like Tennessee.
yeah.
I'm not trying to go to. Sorry, I know you're
No.
Vol.
It's okay.
Is that
What's
what?
up?
Yeah. So
So
I don't. Yeah.
So growing up, so you did feel racism like growing up after that? Because I've always felt like, at least in middle school, like at least I didn't see anything, but I wasn't looking it through your eyes either.
Nothing significant, no. Nothing significant. And again, I think it plays into the area I'm growing up in. It's a progressive, multi-ethnical, diverse society, culture here. So, I feel blessed to be here compared to other places. So,
and I feel like that's like, it's progressive, but also like, that is, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Like we should big up like the parents that have taught their kids right from not choosing to teach them racism or anything like that. You know.
I agree with that, but I also think that when you live in a culture like this, it's really difficult because everyone around you is diverse, and so the parents don't. I mean, you can be a good parent, but I think that the environment shapes the non-racism in a place like Washington.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is like sections of Washington, like you go.
Eastern.
If you go to Eastern Washington,
Yeah.
it could get
Well,
bad.
even like Snohomish or like
Definitely.
Facts.
Yeah.
you know, like Snohomish, Mount Vernon,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like Oak Harbor.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
population 3,000.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of Trump supporters. Like I just driving around Everett, there was like a bunch of Trump supporters, and you wouldn't think just being in Washington.
Well, in non-urban centers, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna have a lot of Trump supporters.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that all Trump supporters are racist, but a lot of them can be.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So just I guess growing up, you didn't really feel too much racism after that, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. There was just that association. It's almost like I had this like stain on being where I'm from.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just from being where I'm from. You know, I'm not a terrorist. You know. I'm a
Was it
citizen.
hard to like make friends or anything like that?
No.
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 Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. If anything, I'm very happy. Like from just because of the timing. See, that question is kind of hard to answer because it happened at a time where I was new in a country, new culture. Like I'm still trying to learn how to fit in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm still trying to learn the language. I'm trying to learn the culture
Uh-huh.
and just kind of like mesh into, like you were saying. I mean, there's all types of different people. You know,
Yeah.
just seeing where I fit in.
Yeah.
You know, and when I got to Gateway and like Adam was my kind of networking. He helped me network and like meet you and all that, and then later down the line meet you in high school and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it was harder for your parents. Or
I don't-
did you.
I don't think they faced any kind of like significant had any significant racial encounters.
Uh-huh.
But you know, they obviously are. They're fobs too, you know, you know, and they have really heavy accents, you know, so they look like foreigners, you know.
Yeah.
But
I have a question. So you said that at first when 9/11 happened, you felt like there was a stain on you. How long did that feeling last for?
Or is it still lasting?
it's still there.
It's still there,
It's still
yeah.
there, and I feel like so 9/11 happened. We go to war, and we're just at war, you know, till now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's Iraq, Afghanistan,
Mhm.
getting involved in Syria, getting involved in Libya, you know, and then like the tensions between Lebanon and Israel, and they hate each other. And it's not so much Lebanon hates Israel, but Lebanon has a huge, like the Hezbollah, I guess it's like a militia group. It's defined as a terrorist organization by the U.S., but
Yeah.
that's, in my opinion, on the simple fact that America is Israel's ally,
Yeah.
and that's who fights with Israel.
Yes.
It's Hezbollah. You know,
Yeah.
they'll shoot a couple rockets into Israel. Israel will return fire or bomb somewhere in Lebanon. So,
Mm-hmm.
So a follow-up question is, so how do you feel about the war or what's happening right now?
I'm against all wars in general.
Uh-huh.
You know, I feel like the Iraq war was a mistake
Yeah.
because you go in there, and I get it, like, there's a dictator running that country,
Mhm.
but that's how that country's ran. I mean, I wouldn't want to live there. Hell no. I would not want to live in Iraq, you know?
Yeah.
But Saddam Hussein was running his fucking country, you know? Like,
Yeah.
we go in there, we destabilize it,
Yep.
and then what is the solution? Okay, so you go in there, you take out the regime, right?
Yeah. What happens next?
What happens now? It's like throwing a huge house party and not planning on how you're gonna clean up before your
Exactly.
parents come
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
You know?
They don't put another leader, or they don't help them get.
Yeah.
Well, they tried to install like a paper house democracy basically, but it crumbled immediately.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. And because of that, you have
And that mistake was repeated throughout the 2000s. It wasn't just Saddam Hussein.
No.
There were multiple regimes that the U.S. toppled only for like a very bad situation to replace it.
And this gets into the discussion of like, you know, the U.S. biting off more they can chew, or just putting trying to police
the world.
And it's not really. I only feel like we should get into those situations if it's a world problem, like, or genocide problem, like
World War
II,
II,
or like. Because I'm like thankful they came into Cambodia and they like, you know, because there was genocide happening over there, so like I'm glad that they did that.
yeah.
So, and we're like, I don't even know why they went into Vietnam, really.
See, that was another shit show.
It was a Red Scare.
Yeah.
And they lost a lot. They basically had to run out. So, I mean, they didn't win.
That was when the USSR was prominent and communism was seen like as a bad thing, like without even analyzing it. So if they saw a communist country at that time, which Vietnam was, they immediately labeled it as evil.
But it's funny because like they're only picking like certain battles because we're allies with China, correct?
Right now?
I wouldn't say we're
not allies, but it's like
China.
business partnership.
And they have a democracy, or not a democracy.
No, they're a communist country.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. And there's like one person just ruling, right?
I don't think they have a dictator per se.
They have like a king, right?
They have like a supreme leader. I don't want to call it. I don't know. They have a president. They have like one person running shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but do they vote for it? I don't know.
I believe there's also a body of leadership too in China. I really don't think it's just one dude running the whole show. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I mean, do you guys know for sure?
No, I know. That's why I'm asking.
I can look it up. I'll look up China's government real quick.
But
go for it.
If you think about it, just the way China operates, though, it's like they censor the internet. If people protest,
that's what I'm saying.
What were they?
Yeah, they don't have Google in China, do they?
Yeah, no.
They have their own version of everything, and it's so like the government. There's a lot of government interference in normal people's lives.
They have so many people there that they're like minimizing how many babies they can have. Like you could only have like.
Well, they need to. They definitely. Everybody needs to do that, bro.
Everybody
needs to do that.
We're definitely overpopulated. But what I'm saying is like, they just like pick certain battles where, and they need to do that less.
It's complicated, but it's
it's
not just one person.
So yeah, I guess you guys can look that information up on yourselves, but.
Like, they have branches of government that got it. They had 5 main branches of government.
Okay.
But
like I was saying from before, basically, they need to police less and only do it if necessary is what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
Is what I think is what we need to do.
So,
yeah. As far as like, you said you don't really care for Trump's policies or anything like that. Like, do you?
Of course I care. Like, I think the Muslim ban is just targeting specific countries and people. But if you think about it, like, the way I look at it is like, out of those 7 countries, I ask myself, okay, what is America's view of this country specifically? Mm-hmm. It's like Somalia. Somalia, dude, the fucking pirates, they go out and they fucking rob people's ships and stuff. It's like you know what I mean? Like the image of them is terrible. It's like, okay, ban them. Yeah. Iraq is a shit show right now. Like it produced like ISIS and all these crazy ass terrorist forces, but that's a result of destabilizing that country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You killed their dictator. Great. He was shitty. He was killing his people. Yeah. Right. He's gone. Now the people that lived in Iraq, of course, hated him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you're not going to live there and be like, oh, yeah, Saddam Hussein is the best. He cut off only one hand instead of both. So, as a result, these people get together, they form militias or whatever, or forces, and they either terrorize their own people or they yell death to America because America came in and destroyed their country. I mean, essentially.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So the Muslim ban to me is dumb. I think all it does is it's segregating. It's just like fear mongering. It's okay, these countries are bad. If you see a Somalian person, or a Iraqi person, be careful. That's basically what it's saying.
Yeah.
I think the immigration policy is terrible. Like ripping kids away from their parents.
Yeah.
And shipping them.
Talked a lot about that.
Yeah, shipping them all over the country. Like, think of it just as a human, fuck political party, Democratic, Republic. Like, if you're a young parent at home, like, imagine you're fleeing a country because of fear of dying, and you're trying to get asylum, and what's supposed to be the #1 country in the world that is accepting of all, and it's a country for all religions,
basically
all
trying
ethnicities.
To get a better life for their kids.
Yeah. And then as soon as you hit the border, you get your son or daughter stripped from you, and then you're most likely not going to see him ever again because as you may know, just from watching the news and reading reports, they're not doing a very good job of tracking where these kids are going.
Yeah.
And another thing is for like the kids, especially because they have like this, the media has done such like a bad job of, or I don't know, bad or good, depending on your point of view, just of like you said, having a bad impression of Iraqi kids, Somalian kids, whatever, you know, like who's going to adopt them?
Yeah.
Is another thing, you know, like where are they going to go?
They go to foster homes.
Yeah.
I know they go to foster homes, but I'm saying is like not a lot of people are going to want to bring them in and raise them,
Yeah.
you know, so like it's even worse for the kid because like they're going to be living from foster home to foster home to foster home. you
Yeah.
know? So, and just to have that in their mind, like, oh, I got whipped away, like, and then try to figure out how to find their parents later in life is like.
I saw a
Definitely
report. I
humanizing.
read like an article or something about a 1-year-old that had to go to a court proceeding, and they put these big ass headphones on him to translate from English to Spanish. He has no lawyer representing him. The judge has to go through this process, so he's asking. He's like, "Are you here representing yourself?" And the 1-year-old is just like, like what am I doing? What is going on? I can't like. You're trying to speak to a 1-year-old.
Literally one.
Literally one, bro.
Amazing.
They only know like.
It's
A 1-year-old can't speak. A 1-year-old doesn't know words yet.
no.
Yeah.
Obviously, so.
No.
The only
Of
word,
course not.
That's what I was gonna say. They only know like Goo Goo Gaga.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
that's pretty
crazy.
crazy. Let's see. What else can we ask him? Let's talk about the situation at the border, at the Mexican border right now. We talked about that briefly.
Yeah.
But that is pretty crazy as well because it's like you said, not only are they being stripped away from their parents, but they're being flat out detained and putting in, essentially internment camps.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Like a juvenile center almost.
Yeah. They take closed Walmarts,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
They set up like cages inside,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and they're throwing like children in. That's like I don't care where they're from. If they're brown, purple, blue, yellow,
Yeah, yeah.
white, it doesn't matter. Like they're
Kids are kids.
you know.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
child.
And if you think about it, you know, you growing up as a kid,
Yeah.
these types of experiences like will shape your life later on.
Yeah,
you know,
they
like
definitely mentally.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
anything like all if you're not shown love and compassion and like being taught right from wrong and all this stuff as you grow up, you're gonna learn that stuff. But if you're being thrown in cages or like growing up a kid in a gang neighborhood, you know, and being exposed, you're gonna do that same shit.
Yeah.
You know? So imagine that's what you're doing to thousands of kids. So really, you're not only fucking up these families right now, but later down the road, like if that's the last son or daughter in that bloodline, like what are the chances they're gonna have a good life or get married and like, you know, continue that family line.
Yeah.
You know, that's important to know too, is like you're not ruining this one generation, you're ruining many generations going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So talking about the impact of Donald Trump's presidency on like Muslim American citizens, what do you think is the best case scenario, the brightest future you could see for your descendants actually?
So real quick, I'm not Muslim.
Okay.
So I'm Christian.
Yes.
You know, my family's been Christian. My last name in Arabic actually means priest.
Okay.
That is
So
important to know too.
interesting
That
fact.
is
Yeah.
But you know,
So
when I speak
Middle
on
Eastern,
things like that,
yeah.
I'm not speaking about one particular religion or ethnicity, but to be successful like in America,
Yeah.
of course you have to work hard. You have to do what you need to do,
You
but
have to work double hard nowadays, like triple harder, I think.
in what sense?
In the sense of, I guess everyone's idea. Me personally, like I have a different view of success, but in just, I guess the ideal idea of success of where you need to get like a 2-story house, raise a family, have like
It's subjective.
Exactly, it is. But
Right.
that's the main goal everyone wants is like to have a job where you don't have to worry about anything, you know.
Yeah.
And stuff
Yeah.
like that. So that's what I meant by success.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I personally don't believe I've had a difficult time getting jobs just because I'm Middle Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've gone through the motion just like everyone. You know, going to school.
Do you think it's harder for someone else that is like, let's say, someone in New York or someone, I guess, that is of Middle Eastern descent? If, like, let's say if you weren't living here and you were living in like those countries. I know it's just hypothetically, but and you can't really say because you haven't been there. But do you think it's harder?
I feel like it would be harder in areas where it's less diverse.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. I hate to pick on Middle America, but you know.
But what about like big cities like New York? Even though it is diverse, there's still like a big, since it's so big, there is like, you know, it's so diverse, but like there is like a big portion of New York that like loves, like, I hate to say like Donald Trump and like saying that like he's racist, but I guess that's kind of the idea of where it's going now. But yeah, like cities like New York where it's so big where they have both sides. Do you think it would be harder there?
Yeah. It really comes down to, if a majority of the company there where their CEOs are like, you know, like anti-Muslim or like really support Trump, and they see like Muhammad turn in a fucking application, you know, they're gonna be like, scrap that, you know. They're supposed to not be biased stuff, but I could see it in the private industry being an issue, you know. But yeah, again, that's kind of like hard to say just because, you know, it just again depends on the culture of the company you're applying for and really the culture of the city that you're living in.
I guess it's subjective to, like you were saying, where you're from and the culture of the company and stuff like that. You were fortunate enough to live in a progressive state to where you can focus on that.
Like, I can't say it enough, like, I feel so blessed to be in Washington, for real.
It's definitely a good state. Or Seattle, not Eastern Washington, but
I mean, it has its cons, but it has a lot of pros too.
It could be worse.
Of course.
So I guess what I meant, or more about my earlier question was, do you think that your children are going to feel the same kind of like outcasted way that you have felt? Or do you?
I don't think so. I feel like, you know, at this point, I don't really see myself moving back to Lebanon or anything like that. So I'm very assimilated to American life, you know. The answer to that question, though, you know, as far as my kids are concerned, you know, I'm going to teach them the same values that were taught to me. If anything, share with them things that I've learned that my parents didn't know or haven't taught me, you know, that I've just kind of learned on my own. And from that sense, you know, I feel like they would be successful, you know, like make sure you just follow your dreams, work hard, and, you know, you got my 1,000% of my support, anything. But whether their success could also, it just depends on the track this country is on, you know what I mean? Like, if it continues on this track where it's like constant negativity and hate and like segregation and like anti-establishment, anti-police, like people just hating each other, just like, oh, permit patty, you know, all white people are gonna call the police. Black, look at this black shooting in this neighborhood, all black people are, you know what I mean? Like, it's
segregating so much. Where,
absolutely.
Like, it's segregating where it's like almost it's like they think it's for a good cause. Like Black Lives Matter, beautiful cause. But like everyone's doing it to where it's like they're just staying in their own lane and like, you know, like the LGBT or whatever. You know, they want their rights. Women's rights, like there's so many rights where everyone's just like staying just next to their group only, you know what I'm saying, to where it's like, no, like we
need to all come to, there needs to be less segregation. And for me, I feel like the normal man and woman, we're all just shitting on each other while the people really in power are just laughing at us and taking our money. So like, it should be like none of that like anti-black, anti-white, anti-this, anti-that. It's like we should all just come together. Like, imagine if we know, you know, Walmart is funneling billions of dollars to Donald Trump to pass certain things, and it like, for some law where it like fucks over the average man, or like they support the healthcare bill where like, you know, however many million Americans are going to lose health insurance, you know?
Mhm.
Like, come together and say, okay, we're boycotting Walmart, you know?
Yeah.
That's an example. That hurting their pockets, that will make change, you
Yes.
know? All these little movements and little protests here and there in like
It's
little
only-
towns and stuff, I mean, it works in that area, but on a global scale, or not global, but like on a national scale, it's not really going to make a difference. You know, I feel like we're doing good things, but we're not doing anything that's really bringing an impact.
It's not. It's progressive, but it's not moving fast enough.
Yeah, yeah. Like
So-
what's changed, you know?
Yeah, nothing's to change all that much. It's,
I mean, we just got our internet rights stripped away. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
But so 20 million Americans emailed the SEC or not the FCC. So that's like it's like a 4-person or 3. It's a 3-person like commission that regulates like the communications. So part of it's the internet, and we've had net neutrality. And essentially, what net neutrality is,
you can put whatever on the internet.
yeah, like cable companies, so like Verizon, Comcast, Frontier, all that bullshit. They can't control your internet.
Yeah.
You know, they can give you like a internet package deal. You know, like 150 megs a second or whatever, and then you can access any site. You can do whatever you want or whatever. So by taking away net neutrality is essentially giving these companies the power to control your internet. So it's like,
You
okay,
can look at. what
yeah,
you
well,
search.
well, yeah, they can do that, which is scary because that's what's happening in China.
Yeah.
So you think a Chinese person can go online and do like third-party research to find out like, okay, what is really happening in that
Exactly,
country?
yeah.
No, it's like
Censored information.
we're basically babies and we're
Yes.
being fed whatever information.
Yeah.
I prefer to have free thought, like
Yeah.
free internet, where I can do my own research.
Uh-huh.
You know, CNN and Fox News might agree on one thing and be telling me, oh, you know, this and that. But what if that's not true?
That's like the hardest thing in the internet right now is to find information that is
Legitimate
not,
sources.
Yeah, that
like
is
non-biased.
non-biased information.
It's really not that hard. I think people just like read the headlines and react to it. They don't see what the website is. They don't check their credentials. They don't
I'm
know.
talking about
Well, what's your
most
strategy?
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your strategy to help like kind of the common person, like for finding like
Yeah, that's a good
legitimate, like
question.
non-biased information?
Look, if it's a specific story, look it up from multiple sources.
Yeah.
See what the majority of them are saying.
Mhm.
Check those sources, like, I guess, like dig into those companies or those news
Yeah.
sources, whatever, because they might be like super far left or super far right.
Yeah.
And you know, they're gonna take that story and they're just gonna use specific points to push their agenda. So if it's super left, it could be like, oh, look, this person shot this person, we need gun control.
Yeah.
And then the right side will take that same story and say, look, this person shot this person, that's why we need guns, because he could have protected himself.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
that type of thing.
So
for
what are
me,
some good sources you use? Do you have people that you like?
I honestly love the Young Turks. I know
Yeah.
they're more of like a
Radical.
leftish
I think
news
it's more,
source.
I was gonna say I think it's a little leftish, but I feel like it's more like radical, as in like blunt, I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah. I like them because there are certain things where they're kind of pushing it. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to take us. So in those instances, like I don't take it to heart as much. But for the most part, I feel like
Because you have a diversity of sources where you can look at that one and then look at 5 others and
Yeah,
see what
just-
their points of view are as well.
essentially use your brain.
Yeah.
Like take in what they're saying, evaluate it. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
And then know like, are they typically always pushing this type of thing from
Mhm.
other videos? If they are, then you know you need to like maybe look at it from a different source.
That's like a big thing too, though. Is like nowadays, and you were saying like just use your brain.
Most
Like-
Americans don't use their brain
Exactly.
so well. And when
That's what I
they're
was
using
gonna
it,
say.
they don't realize that they're following only one biased source.
Yeah.
So it's simple for one person to say use your brain, but there's so many people that think they're doing it.
Especially-
they think they're being
yeah.
objective, and really they're
They're
just
n-
buying a biased source.
Exactly, and especially that's for like the older community too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Really big for the older community, and even the younger community. Like they're just sometimes they don't even know what they're like really
Yeah.
looking into.
Mhm.
Just number one, delete your TV subscription. No cable TV at all. No HGTV. No. I guess Nickelodeon and like Cartoon Network are cool, but like
You got to
TV
stay
news.
obvious nowadays.
yeah, TV news. Scratch that. Like I haven't had cable in 2 years. Like if I need to get information,
I don't watch
internet.
cable.
That's
It's
it, bro. It's
really.
just it's seriously like an electronic. I want to call it like almost like a drug, except all it's doing is like destroying your brain.
It's so much negativity on the media that I can't even stand it. Like everyone's they're either bashing Trump, 2, they're either bashing the other side, 3, it's like Black Lives Matter, 4, it's like all lives matter, 7, it's like freaking there's
There's a couple there.
whatever. There's like a protest against a protest against the other protest, but we're gonna protest your protest because I have a protest, and it's just like, it's like so confusing. It's not even confusing. It's just aggravating.
Yeah.
But like, do you think it's good? Because me personally now, because we're at a big point in civilization right now, or at a big point in the U.S. right now.
Yeah.
Where I feel like the one good thing that Donald Trump has come in and done is like everyone's showing their like true colors.
It's true.
Facts.
We were talking about that right before the
Everyone's
show.
showing their true colors, and I like that. I want to know who you are, so like I can either avoid you, or I know what if you're a racist. Okay, you're a racist. Go on that side. I'll be on this side. We'll be all right. You can, because me personally, like I think you can have your own views or whatever, as long as you're not hurting anybody, like literally hurting anybody. Like you can be the ultimate racist and say like I hate blah 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 in your own house, whatever, but if you're not hurting someone, like, and I don't even think I can change your opinion, nor do I even want to change your opinion if you're so strong about that opinion. But like, yeah, it's like everyone's showing their true colors, and I think that's a good thing for us to move forward.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it was swept under the rug, it seems like, during the Obama era, and now that Trump is president.
Everyone thought it was all good when Obama came to president.
And now he's emboldened these white supremacist groups that are now coming out into the public eye, and now people are seeing and realizing they were there this entire time. It's just that they didn't have a figure to rally behind like they do now.
Correct. They don't feel the power and power to do so. But yeah, I agree. That has been the silver lining through his presidency so far.
Now those
what
groups
you were
can be
saying.
seen.
Yeah, it's like he's exposing a lot of things about like how America really works. He almost like if it was a machine, he opened the hood and said, "Look."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is what it really is.
This is what it really is, man.
And I'm on this, or he's portraying to be on this side,
And we're lucky that we have technology now. Because people are being put on. Bro, there's nothing that makes me happier than it makes me mad and then happy, which has been happening a lot. Is I go on. Sean King is a blessing to all colored people. I'm saying that right now. He
I don't know who that is.
Sean King.
Sean King. He's like an activist. He's really blown up in the last couple of years.
I don't know who that is.
But essentially, he runs social. Like follow him on Facebook, follow him on Instagram.
But what is his like political beliefs?
Yeah, just a quick synopsis.
And I'm sure a lot of people probably don't know.
He's like I feel like he's like pro everyone, but he really pushes like the pro black movement, And he doesn't do anything or say anything like extreme. He really just like puts out stories and like facts and stuff, and you can research him and like he's not lying, I feel like some stories he'll try to like stretch a little bit again, but I feel like everybody does that,
It's a lot of
their like I guess news realm, however they do it. But so far lately he's been doing a lot of like exposing or really putting out their videos of people like exposing races. So for example, this African American lady was at a pool with her son, and one of this white guy who's also at the pool like walked up to her and said, "Hey, do you live here? Like, what? You can't be in the pool."
Yeah,
you can't be in the pool. And she's like, "Why?" So she started filming him, and he called the police on her, and the police had to come and had to verify it, But Sean King like put that story. This is just a normal person with a phone. Like she's not really gonna reach a lot of people. So Sean King like helped her put it out there. And the next day, I check my phone. The guy's fired from his job,
That's
and it's
great.
like, dude, I love that.
Yeah,
It's like we're finally like people are facing repercussions for being racist,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or like Permit Patty. She called the police on a girl selling water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This?
So this lady called the police. This white lady.
Yeah.
On like a 10-year-old.
I'm like a 10-year-old girl selling water. It's
She
like,
wants to go to
dude,
Disneyland.
drive through a neighborhood. There's
Lemonade.
kids selling lemonades. I'm gonna walk up and be
Yeah.
like, okay,
Where's your
little
permit?
Johnny, I want to buy some lemonade. Okay, tastes pretty good.
Where's your license?
You know
Where's
you're
your
supposed to call the
permit?
city of Seattle for this, right?
Where's your permit?
Where's
If you
your
don't have one,
license?
I'm calling the cops. You know, or shut it down.
Wow. Yeah.
Like,
Sorry, this is a
Shut it
business
down.
world.
shut it down. It's done.
You gotta teach
Red
them
tape.
early.
Hit it with the red
Close
tape.
it. A closing note. What would you want to happen, or what would you want to see for us moving forward with this situation? Like, would you want Donald Trump to not be president, obviously, or how would you, if you could tell people to do something, or if it was like, I don't know, what would you think is the best way to move forward from where we are right now? What do you think people should do?
I think, like I mentioned before, I feel like with Donald Trump being president, it's really made people be more active politically
Yeah.
and see like how our political system works. You know, from local level up to like all the way to a president. You know.
Yeah.
So my thing would be vote in your local elections. Like,
A lot of people don't do that.
yeah, vote in your local elections because it starts in your own city. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that
Like,
affects you
change
the
starts in
most.
your own city, and
Yeah,
like.
that affects you the most.
Going back to Sean King, he's been talking a lot about, you know, district attorneys and exposing like the racist ones and stuff. And those are the people that come up with the plans to, you know, okay, we need to focus more on like little drug charges to get more
Yeah.
people in prisons or jails and stuff.
The DA is the people that suggest the sentence that you are given,
Yeah.
and the judge is the one that puts the stamp on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess, yeah, as a country, we need to stop the hate, come together,
Mhm.
vote in your local elections, make sure you're putting people in office that are just good people and are not going to be bribed by corporations and companies and stuff.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, that's what happens at our federal government level is like all the congressmen and women, whether you're Democratic or Republican, you're getting your pockets filled to push certain things.
Mhm.
And that's why
That's how
like
they get reelected.
yeah, so that's why like I don't hate on Republicans and I'm not like necessarily like a hardcore Democrat, you know.
Mhm.
I think both sides are equally in bad in that realm because they agree on a lot of things. The things that they don't agree on are the little things like I don't want to call it little because some people might get offended, but like gun control. There's more important things to focus on.
Yeah.
But
We talked about that a lot a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago with Jake, about the kind of like the economic inequality that goes on in America, which is really the defining difference between
Yeah.
kind of
Just as
liberals
far
and
as like
conservatives.
how many lives are being saved with gun control, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's bigger issues that could do a lot more justice as
Mhm.
far as like other laws that will help the community rather than focusing on just that one thing. that
Mainly he
people are
talked about
targeting.
mainly he talked about like a really aggressive tax bracket
Mhm.
to kind of try to get the middle class and the lower class to be at a higher point.
Yeah, taxing
Yeah.
the rich really
Yeah.
heavy.
well, the middle class is the most vital component
It is.
of democracy.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
he was saying. Yeah.
It really is. Like if the middle class is not doing well and the like
But if,
the wealth distribution in America, if
Yeah.
it keeps like splitting up, there will be no middle class.
Yeah.
It'll be like Mexico where you
Yeah.
have people living in sheds
Yeah.
and then you have the super rich people living their best lives.
Yeah.
You know?
and it's a vital point right now where we need to give
Strengthen the middle class.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And-
Which is not happening here in Seattle, which makes me kind of
It
upset.
doesn't happen in Seattle, and
Like-
you would hope that it would happen in Seattle, but really Seattle has one of the highest effective tax rates for middle class citizens
Yeah.
of the entire country.
Yeah.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is a good place to live.
It is still a great place to live. I agree,
It's,
but we do still have to hold it to a high standard.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I guess.
About
Want to
it.
wrap it up on
Who's gonna win?
something else?
France or Croatia tomorrow?
I don't want
Sam.
soccer.
I want France to win
Okay.
because Antoine Griezmann plays for him, and I love that guy. He's solid.
Okay, so you're gonna have to be a gut decision since you haven't watched it all. What's it gonna be? Pick a cooler name. You want to see their flags? You can pick a cooler flag.
I don't like France. So.
Okay, so Croatia it is.
Yeah.
Croatia's pretty stacked too. It's gonna be a good game.
Okay, so I'll take Croatia because my brother-in-law is French and I just want to rub it in his face.
Fair enough. Yeah.
All right, yep.
I guess yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the Timecapsule podcast. My name is BXC23. It's my co-host.
John, what's up?
And then this is Samir. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thank you.
Great guest.
I would love to do this again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bring him on more. Sam will be back. Sam will return.
Yes. Sam will be back. We'll probably have another podcast not talking about political stuff and talking about like cool and fun shit.
Yeah, something, just
Creative
to blaze
shit.
to, something we can
Yeah.
laugh
Music,
at.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
All right, cool.
That was hella fun.
That was a good time.